Hey y'all, it's Brandon, Voodoo Forge. Got another adventure from the scrap pile today. Got a 16-inch piece of 3/8 round stock. Let's see what we can do with it. Well, here's the material out of the scrap pile. This is 16 inches of 3/8 round stock. Now, there's lots of normal production things that I could use this for, but then it wouldn't be an adventure from the scrap pile. So let's make a fork. So just to give you a rundown of what I'm going to do, I'm going to forge this flat right here, just maybe 1.5 inches of it, maybe even not that much. And I'm going to let that cool. While that's cooling, I'm going to go ahead and be forging on this end. I'll forge this down to a point and put some kind of little handle with a finial. Then I'm going to split this once it's cooled on the bandsaw and forge it into a fork. So let's get this thing hot. Okay, first order of business is just to flatten this. That's it. That's all we got to do on this end for now. Now I'm going to have to grab some tongs because I'm putting the other end back in the forge. Alright. Bring this to a point. Sit two sides. Draw it out. Get that drawn out. Now, gonna round it a little bit, not a lot. Take these corners off. To be honest, I hadn't really decided what I'm doing on this end yet. I think I'm gonna flatten it. Get it even first. Another heat on it. That'll do for that. Now let this thing cool down and I'll put a slit in this end. Okay, so I thought I was recording and I missed this entire thing, but essentially I took the flattened out part of my piece here and slit it on the bandsaw. It looked like this, but slower. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I missed the video, but I don't want to do it again tonight. So that's what we got. You get the general idea. You got to put a slit in that. Keep it as even as possible, as centered as possible. You don't have to use a bandsaw to do this. If you do not have a bandsaw, you can cut this with a chisel, heat it, put it on some kind of plate on your anvil or something that you don't mind chiseling into, and chisel a line down, keep heating and chiseling until you get all the way through it. I would recommend doing that from both sides. Chisel from this side and then chisel from this side. I suppose you could do it with a hacksaw. If you're really adventurous, you could do it with a cutoff wheel on an angle grinder. I don't like the chances of shrapnel that much, so I recommend doing it on a bandsaw for speed. And if you're one of those people who thinks if you use a power tool you're cheating, use a hacksaw or a chisel to do it. Okay, I got my hot cut in because I'm going to use it to split this where I've already cut it. I'm going to work this one side at a time because it will be easier. Now, bringing this to a point, the same way I would bring anything to a point. These small pieces lose heat quickly. And when you're working with small material like this, when it goes from a bright red to a dull red, I find it's best to stop hitting it. You're only going to get cold cracks and just mess up the entire piece. So just know when to stop hitting it. That is a key in this. Okay, still working on getting this to a nice point. That's pretty much got it. Now, I'm going to start rounding it. Start here on my nice point. Hitting the corners. Now it's cooled off, so I'm going to practice what I preach. Take it back to the board. One over so I can work it next. Something like this, I would have several things in the forge going since I'm getting such short hammer time out of the heat. And I'm averaging about 25-30 seconds of being able to hammer on it. So, this is not the end of the day and me making a video, I would have several things in the forge, so between heats I could stay busy. That in there a little long. Okay, what I did there was I just kind of made sure that these two tines were approximately the same length. So I would know if I needed to draw one out a little more. One more heat and I'll make the fork. Camera on, this works fine every daggum time. Put a camera on, it's terrible. I've heated this up in the forge. I'm letting it cool. It's at a black heat right now. I wire brushed it and I'm waiting for it to cool a little bit so I can coat it with oil. This is canola oil. Because this is a cooking implement, it needs to be treated with something that's food safe, something you can consume. So, I use canola oil to do this when it is appropriate. Still pretty daggum warm. I'm gonna keep testing it until it's cooled off enough. Alright. Still hadn't completely cooled down. We'll just keep wiping it till it is. There we go. Alright, well, that was easy enough. By the way, that oil finish, you can use that on anything that's going to come in contact with food. If you want to put some kind of coating on a knife or a spatula or a ladle or anything you're making that needs to be food safe, that vegetable finish works great. And if you're doing hooks or something like that, you can use motor oil in the same manner. I don't recommend it because the fumes are carcinogenic. So you want to be in a well-ventilated area before you do something like that. But anyway, that's another little project out of the scrap pile, just slowly whittling down on this daggum thing. But I hope y'all got something out of this, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below in the comments. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. All right, y'all behave yourselves now.